Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Yes, and I have been filming now in between, of course, having a baby. We did the Blu-ray haul video recently, and now we're doing a what I watched during the month of October. Surprisingly, I actually watched quite a bit. Having a baby, you think, well, you haven't got much time, have you? But I actually did do quite a bit, to be honest. Obviously, more towards the front end of the month. But I have managed to go to the cinema since the baby has been here. So, yeah, pretty mad. But I've managed to go, which is nice. It's been nice. So, the first movie then of the month. We'll go through all of the cinema stuff first, that we always do. The first movie that I saw then on the 2nd of October then was a movie starring Leonardo DiCaprio, of course. One Battle After Another. Paul Thomas Anderson film, of course. I gave it a 5-star. Absolutely phenomenal. And to be honest, one of my films of the year, of course, having a 5-star. It is brilliant. It is an exceptional piece of filmmaking. And it just goes after things like Sinners this year. Things like Weapons. Things like One Battle After Another. All these original, made films have just hit the heights that I never really expected. I don't think it is as good as Weapons for me. I think Weapons for me is still my film of the year if I had to choose between the two, because I gave both of them a 5-star. But One Battle After Another is phenomenal. I think there's definitely a lot more Oscar potential in One Battle After Another, with all of the lead actors, actresses, etc. Like the two ladies that were in the film were just brilliant. And I think Leonardo DiCaprio, of course, just strung it all together and wrapped everything around and really made it fantastic. A fantastic film, original movie, as I say, that, you just need to see on the big screen. 3rd of October then was the release of The Life of a Showgirl. This is the Taylor Swift newest album, and of course I went to the official release party of A Showgirl, was what it was called. And this was a 90-minute basically documentary kind of thing of how she made the music video for the lead single, and also we managed to see the lead single be premiered at 8 p.m. showings in the UK, so it was all around the same time. And then in between then she would do like a lyric video and whatnot. I gave it a 3.5 star because it was a bit slow. It was literally just listening to the entire album, but then having in between like how they made certain things. There was definitely some cool things in there as a fan, but it was like more of an event in the cinema rather than like a movie. But still pretty good. I then went to the cinema to go and see the re-release of Avatar: The Way of Water, not just to see the Fire and Ash exclusive like sneak peek, but of course I wanted to see the film in 4DX. Now I have the collector's edition here of the film, a fantastic release and a great film, of course. I gave it what I always give it, 4.5 star. Loved it. It was really good. Obviously really good for me to just watch that now quite recently in readiness, of course, for December the 19th, I think it is, for Avatar: Fire and Ash, which is probably my most anticipated film left out this year, and it has been obviously for 2025. I'm really looking forward to it. It was great to see it in 4DX. It was a real good experience, and I'm probably going to go and see, Fire and Ash twice. Definitely in super screen, the first viewing, just like non-3D. But the 3D, 4D of these films is exceptional. Better than any other thing. Like, obviously, James Cameron is a pioneer in this space, in this terms of this tech. And I missed it in 4DX on the original release. So, of course, with Fire and Ash, I'll definitely make the time to go and see it in 4D as well as super screen. Just so I get both experiences, because it was amazing. And it's probably going to be fantastic, isn't it? But, of course, I gave it a 4.5 star, and it was a good watch. Next one we have then, on October the 8th, I went to go and see The Smashing Machine. This is the new A24 film starring Dwayne Johnson alongside Emily Blunt. It's a true story. I can't remember the guy's name now. Is it Mark Veris or something? Mark Kerr, that's it. UFC legend Mark Kerr. And he basically transforms into this role. A phenomenal performance from The Rock. Emily Blunt was okay. Her dialogue and her scenes that she was given was quite unfavourable to her, because all of the scenes she had to play very much were like the same, like 4 or 5 different scenes of her and her husband having an argument after a fight didn't go well or whatever. It was just exactly the same. But I gave it a 4 star because I thought the performances were really good, and you do transport back to that time in terms of in the 90s. It was very good how they did all the sets and costumes and all of that. Tron Ares next then on October 10th, and they gave us a 2.5 star. This was a negative for me. It was okay in terms of the actual plot was dumb. That's really what let it down for me. The worst plot ever. Acting wise was okay, again, not fantastic, not great actors in there with Jared Leto Leto and stuff leading it. It wasn't fantastic in terms of that, but it was fantastic with the CGI, and that's where all of my points went. Every single, bit of the CGI was just phenomenal. It really did transport you and showed you what CGI can do nowadays, and probably one of the best CGI films I've seen over the last couple of years, to be honest. Tron Ares was really good from that point of view, but the plot very much let it down, and maybe I'll score it higher from a plot point of view once I've seen Tron alongside Tron Legacy. Next then, I went to go and see I Swear. This is a film that is inspired by the life of John Davidson, who is a misunderstood teen in the 80s, and basically is struggling with Tourette's. And people don't know what Tourette's is, and of course the title of the film being I Swear is very much, you can say swear words and not mean it in very awkward situations and whatnot. I gave it a 4.5 star. I thought the acting, the emotion behind the film was brilliant. I left the film honestly feeling totally different, and this is why cinema mattered, I think is what I said in my short, because it was just so unique and so beautiful to tell a story of somebody that, if you knew this person, is such a beautiful portrayal of their life, and to see the ups and downs of their life and what they go through, what they have challenges, what they overcome. It was just beautiful, and I really cannot wait to watch her again in house. And to be honest, I really want to show Chloe. It's one, I don't know how many films that I want to show my other half, because she's not really a film person, but this is one that's like so important, such a beautiful story, and well worth showing. Then I went to go and see Good Boy. This is the horror movie that is told through the eyes of a dog. It is as bizarre as it sounds. It is actually only 70 minutes long. I gave it a 3 star. It was pretty unique from a creative point of view, of course. Camera work, having to use the dog's eyes and be the dog. Obviously, it was really interesting from that point of view, but it was pretty slow at times. I thought it could have done with something a bit more to get it going in terms of the plot, and it was one of them that I had to Google kind of what happened at the end, because I didn't really understand it. Now maybe that's just me, but I didn't. So yeah, it was one of those, but it was still a fantastic, nicely made film in terms of the direction and how the actual camera work was from the point of view of a dog. It was still really unique and really good from that point of view, obviously relying on sounds, and it made me look at my dog differently. Obi, my god, all the things that he's thinking, all the senses that he relies on, sound being one of them massively for a dog, of course, and all of that. Skipping forward a couple of days, then we had the release of Good Fortune. This is the 18th of October. Then I went to go see this. This is the Azariari's directional movie starring alongside Keanu Reeves and Seth Rogen. Now this is basically a bit of a Freaky Friday kind of thing. They kind of switch roles, and Seth Rogen's this really rich guy. Aziz Ansari, he's basically a delivery driver struggling and sleeping in his car, and then Keanu Reeves is basically this guardian angel that's trying to help him out. Again, 2.5 star. Thought Seth Rogen and Keanu Reeves were fantastic, brilliant, but the other guy was just not for me. So yeah, slightly better then on the 19th. I went to go see Roofman starring Channing Tatum and Kirsten Dunst. This was brilliant. I love this. This is basically about the guy who is a roofman. He got the name of the roofman because he goes in and burgles places through the roof. Anyway, he gets caught. He goes to prison. He escapes prison and he hides out for a couple of months. And he's actually hiding in a Toys R Us store where he actually sees Kirsten Dunst, who actually works there, and he's watching her from afar kind of thing. And eventually they start to have a bit of a relationship, and you actually feel for the character. Really good film, 3.5 star. I thought it was good. Again, another one I probably would want Chloe to watch, because I thought it was still quite good and something she'd probably like. But yeah, 3.5 stars. Not one of those that you should go to the cinema to see. If it's on Netflix or something, definitely watch it. It's really good fun. And yeah. Then we had a long break after that, of course, because the baby was born, and I went then on the last day of the month, 31st, on Halloween, to go and see Begonia, the new Yorgos Lanthimos movie starring Emma Stone. I gave this a 3.5 star. Did not live to the heights of Poor Things for me, and it did actually highlight the fact I still have yet to see The Favourite. I have, of course, seen Kinds of Kindness, which I didn't really enjoy, but I found Begonia to be a bit better than Kinds of Kindness, but definitely not as good as Poor Things for me. Poor Things is phenomenal. I absolutely love it. But Begonia was pretty good, pretty interesting, starring Emma Stone, as I said, and Jesse Plemons. Very interesting film. It probably needs more watches, but it's a very weird film, but it's still pretty cool and unique. And yeah, so that is all the films that I saw in the cinema then. Now let's go through some of the actual I guess pickups that we have here. So the first one being in terms of, I say pickups in terms of Blu-rays, the first one then being, I watched this on the 6th of October. Me and Chloe actually had a date night. We had a bit of a picky bits kind of evening, and we watched Groundhog Day. I gave her a few options. I watched this for the first time. I gave this a 3 star. It was all right. It felt a bit Groundhog Day. I know what the saying is now. It was okay. It was pretty good, but he was basically using it to his advantage to pull this girl kind of thing, and I just found him to be a bit of a bit of a twat, to be honest, in the film. But Bill Murray is still good in it. It was okay. Probably something I would only ever watch once. I'm not going to be rushing back to watch Groundhog Day. But I can see if you watch this in the cinema 25 years ago, or however long this came out. When did it come out? 1993. I can see if you went to go and see this in the cinema, this would like have a special place in your heart. But for me, it was okay, but probably will watch it in a couple of years. The next one then that I watched was a gifted item, and this was sent over, of course, by the studio Warner Brothers, and I've done a full unboxing of this. This is Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. I watched this for the first time. This is a very short film. I think it came in at 77 minutes, yes. Of course, I was trying to catch up on these, and I watched this, you know, in the room. It was really good, to be honest. I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 3.5 stars, so a 7 out of 10. The story was a bit like lackluster. I definitely preferred Nightmare Before Christmas in terms of the same kind of vibe and stop motion and all of that. But it was still really, really good. Johnny Depp voicing, Helen Bonham Carter as well. Phenomenal like design artwork on there, and like language and the whole cinematography was brilliant. But like I say, it was just not a very good story. It's all about basically this guy who mistakenly marries this corpse bride and not his actual bride. That's what the story's about. But still really, really interesting. And a nice box set as well, which, as I say, I've done an unboxing for. Then we have 2 pickups here. I do have the Blu-ray for this one. We watched Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. Yes, they've featured this a couple of times on the channel. We watched this. We also watched the first Mamma Mia. And it's over there on the shelf, basically, but I can't bother to get it. But I watched about the 2 Mamma Mias, and this was when my other half was in labour. So we was at home, and this is her, like, comfort blanket, I suppose. So we watched Mamma Mia while she was in labour. So I counted on my letterbox. But we actually watched it the other way around. We actually watched Here We Go Again first, and then the first Mamma Mia. Don't ask, but my other half loves the second one more than the first one. But I gave Here We Go Again a 2.5 star, and then I gave Mamma Mia a 2 star. So yeah. Then we had the release, and I had delivery of Superman. Yes, this has been not something I've shown on videos, of course, and opened up, because it has basically come when I've been not filming. So I did watch this on the 28th of October. I think that was release day. I'm not too sure. Maybe it was a week after. I don't know. But I watched this, of course. Phenomenal. I'm still yet to go through all of the bonus features, 90 minutes of that to get through, so I'm really looking forward to doing that. 4.5 star. Looked amazing downstairs. Was really pleasantly surprised to see like the aspect ratio on the home release being, you know, big screen and stuff. I really like that. But yeah, phenomenal release, and it looked amazing on the TV, so great. Finally then, we have the final one then, the final physical media release, or that one that I watched this month, is a gifted one again. This is 3.5 star for Jacob's Ladder. Again, I've done a full unboxing video of this on the channel if you are interested, but I did watch this for the first time, and I gave it a 7 out of 10. It was quite trippy, starring Tim Robbins, who of course is on Shawshank Redemption. It was really good. I would definitely watch this again, but it was quite a trippy film, if I'm going to be honest, but still really interesting. I actually watched this downstairs, didn't watch it in the room because there's been some changes happening in the room. Stay tuned for that. But you know, still pretty good. Stars Tim Robbins, Elizabeth Penner, and Danny Aiello. There was that 4K steelbook. So yeah, so that was all of the physical media releases that I watched this month, which I think is not too bad. 5, you know, during the month of a baby being born, I think it's still pretty good. But I do plan on, you know, getting a little stack and taking them downstairs, because a lot of my film watching now is going to be downstairs for the next couple of months, because obviously up here, cinema room, too loud next door, my other half's in bed and in the middle of the day, so it's all just a little bit of a upside down kind of thing in life at the moment. So yeah. Then we've got to go through then the streaming stuff, because there was 1 or 2 things on streaming that I did watch, of course. Just going through it. So the first one was the Apple release starring Matthew McConaughey. This is The Lost Bus. I gave it a 3 star. Directed by Paul Greengrass, who actually was the one that directed Captain Phillips, which is the Tom Hanks like abduction, you know, pirate film, that one. Yeah, I didn't enjoy it as much. I gave it a 3 star. I think it looked alright for a streaming film and Apple thing, but I think this is the first Apple film that I really did not enjoy as much. This was one that I actually watched on my iPad mini here, and I watched this in the hospital because I was having to stay up all night to look after the baby while my other half was sleeping, because we was in hospital for 4 nights after giving birth. So I didn't stay every night, but that one night I did, and I needed to stay awake, so I watched The Lost Bus. As I say, was okay, but it felt like a streaming film, which is surprising for Apple, because normally their bar is, very high. And then the final one of the month, which I do have the physical release of, but I did watch it on streaming on the 26th of October. This is the Star Wars The Force Awakens. Yes, I watched episode 7, and this was the first film that I watched with my little one. So it had to be Star Wars. Her middle name is Rey, and it's spelt how it is in Star Wars. So it had to be The Force Awakens. And I'm not saying she watched it, but it was the first film that she was present in, let's just say. So yeah, 3.5 star, like I always give it, 7 out of 10. It is a fantastic first Star Wars film for people to get into. It's not one of my favorites. It's not like, it doesn't have the nostalgia fest to it. It doesn't have the greatness that the other ones have, but it's still very, very good. And it's the best Star Wars of the sequel trilogy that Disney have done, of course. Not as good as Rogue One, but it's definitely good. So yeah. So that is everything that I watched during the month of October. A jam-packed month, I think, for having a baby, especially after when she was born on the 22nd, I managed to watch 5 things, which I think is pretty good. Like when I was on, paternity leave, which is just finished now, I went to the cinema twice in paternity leave, one of which was obviously, in the month of November, which you'll see then. So I have managed to watch quite a few things. We've watched a few things on Sky Cinema as well at the beginning of November, so they're going to be on here. So it's very, very sporadic in terms of the things that I'm watching right now, but I'm still able to watch films, which I never thought I would be able to. So it's pretty good. I'll take it. So yeah, there it is. There is the wrap up, of course, and what I watched during the month of October. Have you watched anything different? Did I miss something massive? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, I need to catch up if I have. But thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos coming soon. And if you are new here, there's a massive QR code there. You can take out your phone, scan the QR code, and you can subscribe to the channel there and then. We are on the road to 5,000 subscribers, and it would be massively helpful if you could assist with that. If you like what you see, of course. Don't subscribe if you don't like the channel. Only subscribe if you like what you see. But thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more videos coming soon. And of course, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.